Hey homesteaders, welcome back to Colin Hill's Homestead. I'm glad to be back with you again, bringing you another video. This one is very important for the time of the year that we're in right now. We're going to talk about fall planting, or like I talk about in my zone, which is zone 8 here in East Texas, second season planting, which is a little different than fall planting in the other areas. But right now is the time you need to be thinking about it, because you have to understand that you have the perfect time right now to start your seeds, and they will get mature before that first frost. Okay, and you can have another season, or in my case you can have another season, or in yours you can grow some vegetables that normally will not do well in your spring planting and summer planting, and we'll go into some of those varieties. So if you've failed at some plants in the spring, I'm going to show you where you will succeed. All right, so first off, if you're wondering, if you don't know the average, or if you don't take a farmer's almanac, you can get online and you can look up your first frost date by your zip code. Simply Google first frost date, put in your zip code, and it'll give you that first frost date estimate based off years previous and the weather forecast going forward. It's normally not off more than a few days. So if you look and your first frost date is November 20th, then you really need to look at the seeds that you plan on planting and make sure that they're going to, from seed to maturity before that frost date, so that you can get some harvest out of them. All right? So you can look that up online. Now you get your seeds. Say I'm not a big kale fan, but here's some kale. Swiss chard, cabbage, lettuce. Let's just take those. And spinach. Let's look at those. All right. So let's look at this lettuce here. You look at the lettuce, and a lot of times on the back of your seed packages, you need to know what zone you live in, which you can also Google. But if you don't know what zone you live in, it'll have it color coded for you on the back of these packages of seeds. And it'll tell you the maturity dates. Days to harvest, 43 days. So this is lettuce. You'll need to get that 43 days and count backward from your first frost, 43 days. And that's when you need to have these seeds in the ground. Pretty simple math, right? Some of these items that we're going to talk about can grow past that first frost. And there's a few that even taste better after that first frost, because that frost turns some of those carbs into sugars, which kind of acts as an antifreeze in the system, so to speak, and makes those vegetables sweeter. For instance, turnip greens, collard greens, Swiss chard, kale. But we're going to talk about some of those real quick. Those seeds that you're going to plant, I suggest you plant them inside. I don't know where you live. Got 96 today. Very humid 96. Hadn't been a crazy hot summer here in East Texas, but our summer, the real heavy heat is going to be the next 30 to 45 days. And yes, it'll probably be above 97 every one of those days. And we're not looking at much rain during that time, if any, okay? We've had a good amount of rainfall. My garden has done really well. I will tell you that if you watch and follow me and you see my previous videos, my beefsteak tomatoes are still producing right now, doing really well. I filled my freezer. I have canned all the cans, all the jars I have, with whole tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, salsa. Our jalapeno peppers are going great. Wow, we've had a huge jalapeno pepper harvest. We've been canning those now. I wanted to, as a bonus here, if you've seen the Grow Peppers Like a Boss video, I told you that topping them, trimming them was a good thing. Now I can tell you this pepper has, this plant has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 peppers on it, a single plant, with a main stem big as my pinky. I have big hands. And out of this 3-gallon pot, okay, I have already harvested over 20 peppers off this one plant. One plant, 20 peppers, 12, 13 still on here, and it's gonna bloom again. And there's another baby one. So, I also told y'all that peppers were something that you could plant closer together. I want to prove what I'm saying there, okay? The same 3-gallon plant, 2 peppers, stems the same size, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just picked these yesterday. That I want to also show you, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. I want to show you one other thing I talked about in my pepper video. It was called corking. Now this pepper done it at a smaller size that I'm used to picking, but there's a lot of peppers on those plants, so, and I picked a lot off. Every one of these plants I've estimated and picked. I've picked at least 20 off all these container plants, and I have a garden full as well. Here is what corking looks like. If you can see this up close, do you see? Let me see if it'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus. Maybe if I can get still. It's not wanting to focus for me. Okay, you see the little brown marks on your pepper? That pepper is trying to expand beyond where it was going to grow. They say that this is the best time to harvest the peppers is when they're in their corking stage. So, we're going to harvest it. I love stuffed peppers. We put them on the grill every chance we get. So, plant your seeds, your lettuce, your spinach, your cabbage, your kale, your carrots, your beets, your radishes. Plant all those winter plants. I could go on. Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, your cauliflower. Plant all those things inside right now because it's still too hot. Not only is it too hot for the plant, but it's too hot for most of those things to even germinate. All right? So you want to make sure you plant them inside. I know this video is going a little longer than I thought it would. We're 7 or 8 minutes in. There's a lot of information I'm trying to get in here. So you plant these seeds inside, you get them up, okay? Then you got to start acclimating them to the outside temperatures, heat, sun exposure within 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks after they come up, right? You already know seed selection. You're gonna cut that down, okay? We've already went through those videos, so I'm assuming you understand that. So we're going to start acclimating them. You're going to put them in a shady spot, okay, for half a day or a full day even, if it's full shade. But you're going to put them in a shady spot 2-3 days. Get them acclimated to be outside. Being outside, being in that sun, being in that weather, that temperature, right? After you get them acclimated, it's called hardening off, okay? They're going to be ready to transplant into your garden. So in the meantime, between now and then, if you're not like me and you don't have a garden full of tomatoes and okra, peppers and everything else that you're still harvesting, a lot of people's garden is done. Their squash is finished. They've already harvested everything they want to harvest. And basically, and that's how I grew up when I was young, by August, your garden was done. You're done for the year. No, sir. I'm going to get everything I can get out of the fall. Okay? So get those seeds planted. Get them in the ground now. Look up your frost date. Got to get it. And then you need to backtrack on that seed package. See how long it takes to maturity. Get those seeds in some dirt. Okay? Bring them inside where it's above 70, but below 80, where we can get those things germinated. We can get them up. Acclimate them in about 10 or 14 days to the outside. All right? Then we're going to get them in that garden. We're going to water them. In the meantime, you can do some amending to that garden soil. If you need to add some fertilizer, if you need to add some compost, okay? If you've done your science and you know you need to add some calcium, or you need to add potassium, magnesium, or a certain amount of nitrogen, get that in your garden. If you know, through looking at some of my previous videos, your acidity, and you need to increase or decrease your acidity, and you know how to do that, lime sulfur, you need to get that done. You need to get ready, because fall is a wonderful gardening season. Not only can it produce some of the best vegetables that we can enjoy, but it also is one of the most enjoyable times of the year. Less bugs, less pests, less watering, and it's a lot nicer to work in the garden when it's 15 to 20 degrees cooler than it is right now. It's a lot more enjoyable. Less mosquitoes. I could keep going on the less. Let's talk about two other things I just want to mention about fall. I want you all to understand, to know, so that you can be prepared to buy them if you want to, because I'm fixing to get some more fruit trees. Fall is the best time to plant new trees that you get from elsewhere. Okay? Fall is the best time. The reason is, I like to go further with it. The reason is because they're ready to drop their leaves and they're ready to start thinking about root growth. Okay? They're ready to start thinking about that root growth and getting ready for the next year. So you need to plant them in time, which is fall, to get ready for the winter, and fertilize them. They'll be working on that root growth come spring, according to how big or whatever you get your trees, bushes, shrubs, whatever. They'll be flowering, blooming, fruiting by that very spring. All right? One more thing, bulbs. If you're a flower freak, which my wife is, if you're a flower freak and you love flowers, right now is the time to be going online, stores, wherever you got to go, shop for your bulbs that you want to plant this fall. You plant your bulbs in the fall for your spring bloom. Every year they will multiply and get more and more and more and more. So enjoy planting, enjoy gardening. Look forward to talking to you again very soon. God bless you. Please like, subscribe, and share my video. Thanks. Y'all have a good day.